about with the last chapter of 2 Chronicles, chapter 36, Judah's decline. The people of the land took Jehoahaz the son of Josiah and made him king in his father's place in Jerusalem. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. The king of Egypt deposed him in Jerusalem and laid on the land a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. The king of Egypt made Eglon his brother king over Judah and Jerusalem, and changed his name to Jehoiakim. But Necho took Jehoahaz his brother and carried him to Egypt. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. He dealt with evil in the sight of the Lord his God. Against him came up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, or Iraq, and bound him in chains and to take him to Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar also carried part of the vessels of the house of the Lord to Babylon, and put him in his palace in Babylon. And the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim and the abominations that he did and what was found against him, behold, they are written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah. And Jehoiachin his son reigned in his place. Jehoiachin was 18 years old when he became king, and reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem. He dealt with evil in the sight of the Lord. In the spring of the year of King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to Babylon with the precious vessels of the house of the Lord, and made his brother Zedekiah king over Judah and Jerusalem. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign. He reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord his God, and he did not humble himself before Jeremiah the prophet who spoke from the mouth of the Lord. He also rebelled against King Nebuchadnezzar, who had made him swear by God. He stiffened his neck and hardened his heart, and he became very prideful against turning the Lord, the God of Israel, of course Christ. All the officers, the priests, and the people likewise were exceedingly unfaithful, following all the abominations of the nations. They polluted the house of the Lord that he made holy in Jerusalem. The Lord, the God of their fathers, sent persistently to them by his messengers, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they kept mocking the messengers of God, despising his words and scoffing at his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord rose against his people, until there was a remedy. And it happens today, of course. People who are of God are always chastised for standing up for the truth. They're always attacked for standing up for God. But one day, when Christ returns, those who mocked us, came against us, will be put to shame, because they will face his wrath in the lake of fire. And then who will be laughing last? We will, because we will say, we told y'all to repent, we told y'all to live for God, y'all didn't, and this is your eternal damnation, is in the lake of fire that burns with sulfur and brimstone. So we can only warn you so many times until God intervenes, until he takes judgment upon you. So repent of what you're doing and turn to him before it's too late, because you never know when your last day is here on earth. You never know. So you better be prepared. Jerusalem captured and burned. Therefore he brought up against the king, therefore he brought up against them the king of the Chaldeans, who killed their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary. He had no compassion on young man or virgin, old man or age. He gave them all into his hand, all the vessels of the house of God, great and small, and the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king and his princes. All these he brought to Babylon. And they burned the house of God, and broke down the wall of Jerusalem, and burnt all his palaces with fire, and destroyed all his precious vessels. He took in exile in Babylon those who had escaped from the sword, and they became servants to him and to his sons, until the establishment of the kingdom of Persia, or Iran, to fulfill the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah, until the land had enjoyed its Sabbath. And all the days that it lay desolate or empty, he kept the Sabbath to fulfill 70 years. So it took 70 years for all this to come to pass. It's amazing. And to God, time means nothing. I mean, 100 years or 1,000 years is like one day to God. So I mean, time to God means nothing. So the proclamation of Cyrus. Now, the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, or Iran, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirits of the Cyrus the king of Persia, so that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and also put it in writing. Thus says Cyrus king of Persia, the Lord, the God of heaven, Jesus, has given me all the kingdoms of the earth. He has charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Whoever is among you of all his people, may the Lord his God be with him, let him go up. So Cyrus pretty much, of course, I know it's just, Cyrus, of course, pretty much releases the Jews to go back to Israel to rebuild the temple, which becomes the second temple. So that's 36, and that's the end of 2nd Chronicles. That they have a map here. It says, exile to Babylon, 597 to 582 BC. It appears that there was 3 separate deportations of Judeans to Babylon under the rule of Nebuchadnezzar. The first came in 597 BC during the reign of Jehoiachin, when Nebuchadnezzar besieged or attacked Jerusalem and carried away many of the treasures of the temple and the royal palace. The second occurred after the fall of Jerusalem in 586 BC, when the walls of the city were leveled and the temple was completely destroyed. The third appears to have occurred around 582 BC, while King Nebuchadnezzar was reasserting his control over the general region of Palestine, or Israel today. So, they have a map here. Okay, of course, the Judeans, or Israel, is exiled to Babylon from Jerusalem. They go all the way up to where Syria is, all the way down to where Iraq is today. And also at the time you have Egypt, you have Lydia, which is Turkey, you have the Median Empire, which is Iran. You also have Elam, which is Iran, and of course the Babylonian Empire, which is Iraq today, and of course Judah itself, which is Israel. And this is what it looked like. Hold it up. You can see the map right there. See that like red line? That's the path people of Israel took when they went to Iraq. It's a long way. So anyway, that's chapter 36, last chapter in 2nd Chronicles, about Judah, you know, being destroyed pretty much, Israel being destroyed, and of course, you know, Jerusalem is captured and burned down. It's just destroyed, leveled. And then Cyrus ends up releasing people of Israel to go back to Israel to help rebuild the second temple. So that's 36. I'm right back with of course the book of Ezra here in a moment.